Right, welcome back to another episode of Ear Candy with myself, Danny. And as always, it wouldn't be an episode of Ear Candy without some talent in the building. And today, I'm happy to welcome back Kryptik.
What's happening, people? How you all doing?
I'm all good. I'm all good. How are you doing yourself?
Not too terrible, man. It's
Well,
good to be back.
I know, it's good to have you back. I was saying to Chris, actually, that you were obviously on the first episode we ever done, right?
Yeah.
And that was almost a year ago.
Almost
A year ago. And I always got it because, you know, I don't know if it's like what they say with kids, it's always like the first one's the best one and all that kind of crap.
Right.
I kind of guess it's the same with podcasts, but I've always thought it was a bit of a shame how we could have never put that one on YouTube. We couldn't put that one on YouTube because it featured your music in that in it, so we got like a copyright thing.
Okay.
I think it was like one of the first videos that got put up on our channel.
Aye.
And it almost ended the channel straight away before we even started.
So I tell YouTube to send me an approval letter and I've been like, thumbs up, guys.
Is that how it works?
I'm not sure. I need to find out.
Because I've heard of artists and stuff saying like, "Oh, I'm happy for you to use it." Like I actually done that once. I've got like a gaming YouTube channel on the side, and I reached out to a band and I was like, "Is there any chance I could use your music?"
Mm-hmm.
And they went, that's cool. Yeah, no worries about it. So I included it in a video I'd done, and the next thing you know, my channel got a strike, and I was like, well, they said it was all right.
Yeah.
It turned out it's the actual record label. So it's people they don't even know.
Yeah.
They're the ones that get the money and then obviously distribute the money out to all the bands and stuff like that. That almost ended my YouTube.
Try to make
career.
it you're somehow siphoning all their glorious profit.
Stealing, and I think when I looked at their Spotify, I think they only had like 30,000 views or something on that song. So it's not as though like they're going to make a shit ton of money or anything like that. I'm not stealing anything.
20 quid out of 30,000.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it was like,
me.
it came up like you have a choice to either take the video down, mute that part of the video, or you can share funds with the band. I was like, yeah, cool, they can have my 20 pence. Like I don't care, you know. But so it's been a year. I can't remember much we spoke of before.
I think my daughter was like 6 weeks old at the time.
Yeah,
To sneak out.
I vaguely remember that you were saying that you just had a newborn and stuff like that. So what's it like being a dad?
Class, man. It's obviously some moments that are quite testing and stuff.
Wait, is it alright? Put the mic a wee bit closer to you. Is that all right?
There's like some moments that are quite testing and stuff like that. Obviously, there's challenges and moments of tiredness that you just need to persevere. But now, like, by the time this airs, she'll be a year old. She's a year on Wednesday. So, like, just over these past 2 weeks, like, learning to walk and stuff like that, like, just a couple of feet and falling and to now, like, walking the full length of the living room. I'm wow, man. And just, like, developing a personality and telling her to do things. She's like, no. And I'm like, right, cool, man. You're your father's daughter, definitely, man. So it's calmed me right down, man. It's like no matter how shit a day you've had at work, man. Let's see, coming home and just seeing your reaction when you come in the door, it's fucking dynamite, man. All your problems just dissolve, man. Fucking, you don't care about shitey nappies or bits. It's bled onto the fucking carpet. You just mop up and get on with it, you know what I mean? It's class, man.
Quite a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I've not experienced that myself yet. I'm sure there'll be one day that.
As much as I'm bigging it up, I would. If you enjoy your life, don't do it.
Yeah, I know. It is one of those things.
It creates a whole new life, man.
And that's
it's the end of your life and the beginning of a new one.
And that's the beautiful thing, you know. Like I hate to sound selfish, but I love my life as it is just now.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that, you know, having a kid would be a burden or anything like that, because it wouldn't, like you say, it's a new life. It's your legacy.
I wouldn't say it's a burden, but there's definitely restrictions.
Oh, yeah. Like
sacrifices that have to be made.
But when this is the thing, when I think about it, it's not as that like they'd be negative sacrifices, because, you know, most of my time when I'm off, it's going out to a gig or a pub and getting smashed.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's not like a negative. It's not a negative sacrifice you'd be giving up. It'd actually be quite a positive one. But it's just the whole sense of freedom on, you know, a Saturday, and your
Aye.
mate texts you saying you want to come out and watch the Arsenal game, psh, I'll be there in 10.
Aye.
Can't do that if you've
That's
got a
it in a
kid, eh?
nutshell. I was misspoke when I say it's the end of your life in the beginning of something new. It's the end of your social life.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you're still you. You're just a bit more, I don't know, a bit more scheduled.
Yeah, I guess.
Aye.
Just think because I always think back to when obviously I was younger, and I'm sure my parents, they sort of feel the same way. And it's one part I've always thought would be pretty cool about being a parent is you teaching them things that you love. So, you know, getting them to listen to music, enjoying the things that you like, share your experiences with them. I just think it's a beautiful, like, it's just a beautiful thing, you know. It just is. And like the thing is, you hear like these days as well, like not many people are having kids and stuff like that, and I just think it's a shame because at the end of the day, you're gonna need someone there when you're decrepit and old to have your back.
Aye, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Man,
like I'd hate to like these people out there that glorify a single lifestyle with no kids and stuff like that. Fine, you have your life, do what you want to do. But see, when you're in a home with dementia with shit up your back,
yeah.
you're not going to have anyone there apart from the people who are working there who fucking despise you being there anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I know that's grim, and it's a grim thought, but it's,
to be fair,
it's
I'd
reality.
rather a stranger was doing it than my
Not
daughter.
really.
You know what I mean? Aye. Bit of pride in that, man. I'd hate for like my daughter to see me in that, Nick, man. Although she might see me like that, Nick, after a wild night out or something. Shut you up my back. Wouldn't it be the first time, man?
Is there plans for another one, or are you quite happy?
I'm
where you're at
happy
just
as
now?
is, man. It's like tough enough.
Mm-hmm.
Learning curve, and like I'm only recently like feel like I'm getting the balance back where I'm able to focus on things like my fitness and music and stuff like that. Although I was saying like to get refocused on my music, it's still been there, but I feel like I've just kind of been keeping too many plates spinning, and I'm like just managing to do the music side of things. But like as they get older, obviously it's a bit. Well, I'm hoping I might be completely wrong, but I'm hoping it's going to be a bit less intense and stuff like that. I don't need to constantly watch to make sure.
The thing is, you've been doing music for years now. Like you can, you know, allow yourself to have a break for a year. As much as I know it's probably hard, if it's something you've always done, you always want to continue doing it. You can, I think, sort of just let go and be like, I've done enough for these years. Just give me a break. I'll be back, and when I come back, I'll be better. You know.
I've kind of been coming to peace with that kind of realization as well. Just like acknowledging, like I have done loads, and like even before I came on here, I was like, shit, what have I done? And I started taking notes. I'm like, right, I've actually done loads this year. And I just put a single 2 weeks ago, and like already I feel like I'm not doing enough like within 2 weeks. It's strange how there is a certain emptiness involved with like being an artist. Like you're always chasing the next thing, and like as soon as steam starts wearing off one, you're like, right, then you get the next one. I
kind of get that with my other YouTube channel. Like, you know, I'll drop a video, and then I used to have a steady schedule, like one video every 3 weeks. I was more than happy enough with that. That gave me enough time to do everything I needed to do to get out. And then once I kind of just felt like this is all I was doing, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do one video a month. And then it went to 6 weeks. And then it went to one video every 2 months. And then, but people are messaging you, being like, when's the new video coming? When's the new video? It's like, I've got a life. You know what I mean? I've got a life, and I appreciate you enjoying the videos that I make for a laugh. But I've got a life. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it becomes a chore.
Yeah, and I feel like people grabbing you like in that way, being like, I want another video. I'm the sort of person that's like, nah, you're not getting it now. You're gonna have, you're gonna have to wait longer. The stubbornness kicks in, and I've always kind of been like that. And it's not to be an arse or anything. It's just to be like a bit of awareness. Like there's other people, there's other shit going on. You know what I mean?
There's other utensils in the sink.
Yeah, I'm not here for you. I just do this as a laugh. Like, and if you enjoy it, great. But I'm not a slave to you. You know what I mean? And if you want the video out, you wait. You wait. I'll message you when it comes out. But that's I guess that's just the way that I am.
Cause I put up a post the other night. It was like, as much as I enjoy music, like I can't wait to go and do like another painting. Like, so I'm into graffiti and that as well. Like, there's obviously music is like I'm really volatile without music. Let's see if I'm not in the studio or doing something productive, I become quite self-destructive.
Right.
So I do need that outlet, but when it becomes a chore, I also need an outlet for that outlet.
Right.
So like the fact I've not been out and done a painting last year or this year, like I would really want to go out and just do something. It's just pure therapeutic.
I know, because I've seen you posting that on
spray painting a wall and just being on edge and having that mission, that militant mentality about you. Like some cunt might jump round the corner. I'm going to need to fucking scalp them with this can of paint, man. I'm going to need to fucking do a bunk for the post. Some cunt's copping it. Like it's some buzz, man, and it's also therapeutic, and you just stand back and see your piece. And like I don't have the privilege of like being in the studio just constantly tweaking me things to make it all nice and polished and shit like that. It's like you're limited to the amount of time you can get away with and limited to the amount of paint you've got in your rucksack. You know what I mean? So
I remember
that runs out. You need to just make art and just leave it as is. And I would like somehow to like no be so much as a perfectionist with my music. See if I could like get that way with my music. Like obviously I would think back like I could have done that better, could have done that better, but at least that way I'm making more music and it's an actual creative stream. You're seeing more growth as opposed to just all these polished pieces.
Yeah, I remember an experience I had, and I mean it's not as great as what you're saying there, but I certainly understand the buzz that you're talking about. So when we were much younger, very cringe looking back now, but we had some spray paint as like skaters and fucking metalheads and stuff, thinking we were the shit. And we'd done an anarchy sign on the wall. And see, for that 5 seconds, I was shiting myself, but it was a fucking buzz. It was an absolute buzz. But I've seen what you do, and that's more than 5 seconds. You're there. You must just be there the whole time, just watching like that. Must be pretty intense.
I started off as a graffiti writer, and then like my mate Mearsy, he would let shows. He would have hip hop music playing in the background, but it was him that taught me how to digraph. And then I'd just be sitting sketching. He's like, "Do you hear that lyric there?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Just pure stoned out my dial, man. Just, always just tuned into the beats and started beatboxing around about the same time as well in 2002. And then I done my sound engineering course in 2010, 2011. And then for there, just kind of music just kind of superseded the graffiti, man. That was that.
What's like you just said there, like how you listen to a song or a bit of graffiti and you kind of wish you could go back and change it and stuff like that. That's one thing that just popped into my mind there. What is it like as a musician, artist, where you release something and it's only after it's been released you'll listen back to it and go, "Oh, I wish I'd changed that to that." That must be brutal.
Aye.
That must be a horrible feeling. Like you'll never be able to settle with just how it is, I guess, because you're always going to be critiquing your own work in your head, eh?
I think it's a bit tougher because I do like my mixing and mastering that by myself. Whereas like if somebody just recorded something in a studio quickly and then it all get polished up for them and given to them, they might be like blown away by it, like, "Whoa, that sounds class." But like for me, like I'm not listening back to say like necessarily how well I've said the words. I'm like, how good's the mix and stuff like that. And I listen back like a year down the line, I'm like, "Shit, man, that I missed it. That snare drums fucking too loud or something like that, or there's no sub underneath that beat," and just daft wee like kind of production things that I notice.
That's one thing I've been looking into recently. Well, I've just been watching videos online about mixing and mastering, because I got myself a new PC that I built.
I seen you got a couple of toys as well, man.
Yeah, so I'm getting right back into that. I used to years ago when I had a Mac and I was on bloody GarageBand, which is not ideal to be making beats on, but I dusted out the keyboard and that, and I got a couple of things from Roland, and I started making stuff on FL Studio again, which I hadn't touched it in years, and it was all like sort of breakbeat, early 90s sort of dance is what I'm sort of going for, with strings and pianos and stuff like that. Just euphoric music.
Ravey shit.
It's really fucking hardcore stuff. I love it. And that's one thing I'm trying to get into now, but only through like watching YouTube videos, is mixing and mastering. And I have no clue what I'm doing. I have no idea. I understand why it's there and what it's needed for, but see, someone like myself, not got a clue. Because that's one thing for years when I was making tunes, was I was like, everything sounds too separated. You know, like you can just. Whereas if you listen to like a mix and mastered track, it all sounds as one and it flows in together.
Everything sounds at the same.
Sounds like it's on the
volume.
same. Yep.
It's flatlined.
But when you just have recordings down, it just sounds like too blocky. It's too obvious what's coming next and how it sounds and stuff like that.
It's weird because like when I was at college and I was learning about it and stuff like that, like they told us to like they explained this to like once you bounce out an audio file, like if you look at it and it looks pure blocked, like machined, well that's really bad news because there's no dynamic to the track. You want to be quite spiky and like peaks and troughs and stuff like that, like parts where the chorus is like naturally louder than the verses and stuff like that. But I think nowadays everything's just machined and put through like cheap mastering settings on like fucking DistroKid or whatever.
So is there people that will use like a third party app and they'll just chuck it in there and it does it all for them rather than actually sitting down and doing it themselves? Really?
I've never used it, but I'm not sure of the accuracy of it. But like if I go to upload something, it's Horace music that I deal with now, but prior to that it was DistroKid, and like you can pay like an extra 20 or 30 quid or something to nail master your track so it's at the same loudness as like every other track that's on Spotify.
All right, okay.
But how
because
accurate is it going to be? Are there going to be distortions in it when they're turning up pings when they don't really know the dynamics of the track?
Yeah,
it's just
I always thought
put through some general.
I always thought that was the
like
personal touch when it came to music is the mixing and mastering. That's the artist's finishing touch. I would hate to, if I spent time making a tune, to then give it to sort of AI, because I imagine that's what it is.
That's my
AI,
beef with it. I'm like,
AI doing it.
I've spent fucking a week and a day doing this, fucking 10 times that period of time, to be honest with you. I'm not willing to, because I'm not sure you even get a preview of it. Like, I've only ever seen it, but I don't really know how much it might affect it negatively. You know what I mean? And undo all my hours of fucking good work. So
there might be like little things in there.
I don't trust it, man. I don't know. I don't trust it. Fuck AI, man.
No, I don't. I'm not a fan of
I
it.
think the human ear's always going to be, or your own ear's always going to be a better representation of how you want it to sound than what some fucking computer is.
Rather than something else. I mean, I'm not a fan of AI myself. I mean, you see some funny videos and pictures and that, but
I seen one earlier on. It was like a rave in the 90s, but everybody was Gordon Ramsay, and it was funny as fuck, man. The lassies with long perm tail and all that, and everybody had Gordon Ramsay's face. It was quite funny, man.
Yeah, what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
I wish I was around then. I've always said if I was around in the 90s, like I don't know, like early 20s in the 90s, I wouldn't be here now. There's no way. See some of the stories in that, and like people that I've met throughout the years who was at an age where they could appreciate it. Like one of my mates, and this is mental. So we were all out. It was at the start of the year, and he was like, and it's mixed ages, and I knew there was a mixture of ages amongst this group. But whenever we go out, we always go mad. And one of the guys who I get along with pretty well, he's like, "Oh, it's a big one for me next year." And I was like, "What, 40-year-old?" And he goes, "No, I'll be 50. And I was like, "What? 50-year-old?" But all his stories, I never put two and two together. He was going to raves in like the early 90s and like abandoned warehouses and that. And he tells me all the stories, and I'm like, man, like you are so lucky. Known all these people from the scene back in the day. I don't know, it's just I think that's like a forgotten period of time, but it was when someone like myself looking back, and it's something I always say to my mum and dad when I'm talking about music, because I say to them, I say like, I feel like yous were the last sort of generation to have a sort of music to hold on to, especially in the UK with like rave and Britpop music. I said there's been nothing. There's been absolutely nothing since then. I don't think there's been anything in my generation of where I've been old enough to appreciate it for at its time. I feel like that's like by now when you speak to kids and, you know, like see from just doing the podcast, there are bands coming in their early 20s and that, and their idols and influences are folk for the 90s and folk for the 80s. And I'm just thinking, where's the folk for the 2000s?
Where's the idols
like,
now, man?
There's no idols now. You know, you've got fucking...
Everything here in the charts is now like remixes of all that old shit
That's
anyway. You know
That's
what I mean?
it.
It's,
And like you got people in the charts, fucking Sam Smith, and it just people aren't going to relate to that. You know what I mean? He's never going to be looked at as an idol. You know what I mean? Like there's just no.
Unless you're just watching fucking X Factor and that's your.
I just don't.
That's your kind of go-to, like, musical knowledge, but, like, I know what you mean.
There's, like, nothing, there's not, and I feel like it's a shame because I've always seen music as a great sort of, I don't know, like, way to express yourself.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing more that I like when I'm out and I'll see, like, I don't know, a bunch of goths standing about. And just by looking at them, you know what their music taste is.
Aye.
It's rare you come by that nowadays. It's really, I just feel like it's a shame. You know, especially
to be fair, like there is a few things on the radio that I love now. Like Hosier is fucking dynamite, man.
Right?
Have you checked him out?
No.
Oh, him had done that. Take me to church.
Oh yeah. I get you.
He's got another one about fucking. I'll drink my whiskey lean. I'll drink my whiskey neat or something like that.
Coffee black and free.
You're too sweet for me. His tunes come on. I'm like, fucking yes, man. Teddy Swims is good as well, man. So there are a few people who are still like, although that's popular music, it's no pop music. You know what I mean? It's like, so there is still some there, but it's refreshing to hear stuff that isn't generic. So I think that's probably how they stand out to me, you know what I mean?
This is one aspect of doing the podcast that I actually really, really enjoy is because for years I've been like, I'm just not digging what's in the charts. Like, don't get me wrong, like you say, there's a tune here and there that will come out. Yeah. Like, you know, when I've surprised people in the past where I've been sat there and I'll just start singing like a little mix song or something like that. It's pop music, you know what I mean?
You get posters and all that, man.
I wish I could get away with that. You know, so there are catchy ones, but like going back to what I was just about to say was like, see, since I started doing this, and you see some of the talent that comes in here with like genuinely great tunes. And I feel like, why aren't they on the radio? Like, I wish it was these people that were on the radio. And I'm not just saying that to big them up.
Diddy party, man.
I know
they're past the age demographic for one of his parties.
What do you make of all that P Diddy nonsense? Because he must have been your man back in the day.
Man. I've never really been a big fan of him, man. I thought he was dynamite in Get Him to the Greek.
Right.
See when he played the mad fucking the record label owner.
So you preferred him as a movie star?
I thought he was really funny, man. I've never really been into his music that much. But I watched a press conference the other night from the legal team who is like going against P Diddy. Something Busby, the guy's name was. That's who he came on saying it's like it's not him, it's them. It's not purely Sean Combs that we're going after. I'm not going to start naming names now, but
it's the tip of the iceberg.
Like there's Big Pharma involved because they were all getting drugged by some weird fucking xylazentine or whatever the fuck it's called. It's a horse tranquilizer.
That's what I'd heard. It was like ket and cocaine and Viagra and
hotels are involved, banks are involved. They're coming after everybody, even if you were in the room and if you weren't directly involved, you were like a sexual abuse.
You're like complicit in it, eh?
It was like enabler or something like that. It was, he's like, we're coming after everybody.
I mean,
there's 120 cases against them.
That just come out recently, eh? These were new.
25 of them are minors.
See, this is...
It's fucked up, man.
I seen it recently. Was the video with him with Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber was a wee boy and he had, what did he have? He had authority to be his guardian for 48 hours or something like that.
Custody. 48 hours custody.
You're a grown man with like a 13-year-old boy. Why do you need to be in the same room? And I understand
so long it takes for the drugs to wear off and have his wicked baby.
Like, I understand if you're seeing this kid and you're like, right, I see money here and he's going to be a superstar. Be professional. Treat him like the kid that he is. Don't expose him to the corruption and the dirty bastard that's going on in that music world. Because at the end of the day, everyone knows it goes on. Everyone knows that shit goes on. Where there's big money, there's seedy behaviour going on everywhere. Eh? But when I'm seeing these videos, and like I even seen the video of Justin Bieber, still a young boy. He was at like some award ceremony, and it was that James Corden. And he comes up to him and he's touching his arm, and he was like, "Oh, you smell gorgeous," and stuff like that. And I'm like, "You're a grown man saying that to a young boy." And when you watch the video, you can see how uncomfortable he is. That Justin Bieber, and you're looking at him.
Are we just seeing it that way now because we've heard that narrative? Like,
nah. I've always thought when you see videos like that, that's for me when questions would start being asked. And it's not because I don't like James Corden. I've always thought he was a wanker. I don't have an agenda out to get him or anything like that. Like, who am I anyway, right? But I'm like, that's a wee boy. I would never, ever go up to a wee kid and start touching their arm and be like, "You smell beautiful and gorgeous." You know what I mean? You'd be like, pedo, get him out of here.
Joe Biden no bad for like sniffing Wayne's as well,
man.
Yeah. There's loads of clips of him like you're smelling Wayne teeth. Aye. But he's hugging them, man.
It's disgusting.
Fucked up, man.
It's disgusting.
Fuck the system. Fuck the top of the music industry.
Yeah, man.
Fucking.
And the thing is, like, everyone knows it goes on. Everyone knows it goes on, but
I hope some good comes out of it anyway, and I hope that anybody who is like a victim of it, like, fucking get some sort of justice out of it, man.
100%.
Like, when it came to the end of that press conference, I was like, what the fuck, man? You just heard stories of all these people who had big dreams of being in the music industry, and then by the end of one of these parties,
but think about this: it'll be connections. It'll be P. Diddy, it'll be that Epstein and all that. You'll find out that all these are in a big ring.
Definitely, man.
Big underground, I don't even know what the hell you would call him, nonsense. And
he was married to J-Lo for years as well, so obviously.
P. Diddy was?
I'm sure he was, man.
Jammy bastard.
I'm sure he was, man. She must have known something.
And if she did, you would like to think she would have. But this is the thing, you know.
The lawyer was saying like a lot of the names are going to come out, or household names. You're going to be shocked at them. I'm not going to get into them now, but it's names that you know.
This is the thing. It's devastating. I remember with the Epstein list of names, and they kept bringing up Tom Hanks. And I'm like, fucking Woody, why would you do that? You know, like, I'm just thinking like that.
Woody,
Toy Story was like my favourite when I was a kid, and I'm like, don't be a nonce, man. Why have you got to be a nonce? You know, if the other Toy Story films come out, you're not going to be a part of it, and then it's not going to be Toy Story. But, you know, I hope that these people, if everything's legit and everything checks out, you hope that they get. But I can imagine this is the sort of thing that will bring Hollywood and that sort of lifestyle to its knees. You know, it's like that.
I'd be very surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if he was like found dead, like,
or tops himself or something.
Selling a cell or something like that, like,
because he's on like watch, isn't he? Like suicide watch at the minute. I'm sure he is. He's got people watching him.
If there's other people implicated, man, like, I don't know.
But that
call me a conspiracy theorist, but
who's that funny comedian? He plays like the midget.
Most comedians are funny. I think
No.
You need to be funny if you're a comedian.
Who's the boy? Was it the Third Friday film? The one that plays the little pimp, and he's got the hair. Is it Cat something?
Cat Williams.
Cat Williams. Yeah. Cat Williams. I mean, he's outed loads of them already. He's outed loads of them. You know, there's loads. It will come. And I'm glad to see it. And I mean, that's even Vince McMahon as well for the wrestling. He's got called out recently.
On Netflix, they were talking about in the radio the other day as well, man.
And like,
sound like a pure old guy here. Oh, hold on the wireless, man.
No, but like, a lot of people that know me, they say, "Oh, you're a big fan of wrestling. Like, what do you think of it all?" And that. And I was like, I'm not surprised. Like, obviously, I can separate the character from the real life person.
Yeah,
even I don't know the real life person, but I know they're not the same, right? So it's easy to say, well, of course he's like that because you see what he was like on TV.
I'm like the character he portrayed.
I'm like, no, I can kind of imagine he was like that because he had a shitload of power and a shitload of money to keep people quiet. You know what I mean? the thing that shocked me the most was when you've seen the text that was getting sent, and he was talking about how much he loves shitting on the bird's chest. That was the bit that shocked me the most.
Right,
I was like, what?
No, is that the Netflix thing?
There's screenshots of it.
I've not seen it, man.
They vaguely touch on it towards the end.
Sake,
but that was the bit that shocked me the most. I was like, no, I can imagine that he's shagged a lot of people that he's worked with, and he's covered it up with money, as a lot of people would do if they were in that position.
I found a lot of people have thrown themselves at him as well to try and get.
Well, there's that as well. There's that as well. But when it came up about him enjoying shitting on people, I was like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, you dirty bastard.
Tarmacking.
Dirty bastard. Absolute filth.
Their own, man.
Well, the main reason why we got you in the day anyway was obviously your new release. So you released, what would you call it, an EP?
Well, as an album, so I've been advised to like put it out as like a drip release. So it's one track every like 46 weeks. But I'm going to be up that to 2 tracks after this one. Just so I can have it wrapped up for the end of the year. So I'm just going into next year just with a clean slate, man. Aye. But so the album's called Unplugged. I think I spoke about it last time. It was produced by Louis Save Right.
Has that been in the works for over a year now?
A couple of years, man. So the last time I was in here, the only track that was out was Sinner, which is the one that I broke into the church. In the church.
Oh, you remember the story you told me about that? Allegedly broke into the church.
Allegedly.
No,
I fucking did.
I think you left it. You know, I remember that. Because I remember you saying that. What is it? It's like if the door's open when you get there, it's not breaking.
Yeah.
So you just bust it open the night before and then come back. That was always like that. We found
one was the new tune. Well, this one is, if you didn't catch it, you're I'm incriminating myself. But no. So that was the only one that was out at the time, but that got a lot of dynamite feedback. And then me and Louis just decided that we'd actually create an album. So it's 8 tracks. There's going to be 2 bonus tracks as well, which are only produced by him. And so earlier on in the year, I put out Roses and Daisies, which got a lot of good feedback. I like that tune, by the way. It was some deep shit I had to get off my chest, but again, the feedback was class. I managed to get that one on British Airways as well, so that's 2 tracks on British Airways and Flight Entertainment.
So what's British Air? Is it Airwaves? Did you say?
The fucking Airways. Fucking planes, man. In-flight entertainment.
Really?
Aye. So Sinner got on the British Airways. It's Tina Edwards.
So wait, are you talking about when you go onto the plane, you hear the music?
Long haul flights.
Really?
Aye.
Oh,
so
shit.
you can go into the in-flight entertainment, and it's like Tina Edwards' next big thing, and I think Sinner's still on it, and probably around about now or next month, Roses and Daisies is going to be on there, and that'll be on there for another year.
I like the Roses and Daisies tune. That was like a sort of throwback tune, instrumental wise. I'm talking about. I like the sampling, as I said to you last time you hear. That's my kind of style. The other tunes, you've got 4 out on Spotify at the minute.
Lane Switch. So I just done a video for that myself. I just got like one of these gimbals for my phone, but it's fucking dynamite, man.
Right.
Watched a couple of tutorials and then just put this filter over it, and everything looked pure polished. I was like, fucking no bad for
fuck paying production company.
I knew her up in Glasgow with my wee brother, know what I mean? Just piecing it together. I tried to do it in the computer. I was like, no, I can do this quicker on CapCut. So it was shot and edited on my phone, then just uploaded it, man. Boom. What the fuck? But the last one, Reload, it was just 2 weeks ago. That was shot by Mackenzie, and it was fucking, he's done some job with it, man.
I like that. That was in the centre, city centre. That was
fun. So jumping about phone boxes, man. Some scheme version of Doctor Who. Like, fucking
Ghetto Doctor Who.
So I started at Paisley Sheriff Court, one of my old fucking stomping grounds, man. I used to fucking never be away from that place. So I started there. It felt pure weird and surreal being back there. It's like, I know this place inside
nostalgia.
Out. Aye. And like, there was cunts like crossing the road as well trying to film. You better not be filming us, man. We'll get you shoot. Like, we'll blur out your face, you fucking cow. You're minging it anyway. Don't want you on camera. But luckily disappeared in. We managed to get a shot where I'm like walking out and walking around the corner, get into a phone, throw away a burner. That's one of the lyrics. So throw away a shitty old mobile phone, and then I go into a phone box, and then it's like the next scene I'll like reappear for the next verse at a different phone box in another part of the city. So it was like Shawlands, I'm wearing a different trackie, and then I just done that for 3 verses. Got a parking ticket on the third one. I was fucking fuming, man.
Most expensive music video of your life then for the parking ticket?
Nah, surprisingly no, man. Like, it did add on a bit, but I was fucking raging. So I went through to Edinburgh about a couple of months ago now to link up with Krink. I ended up pretty Toronto, and I lost my headphones on the way back. I was like, shit, man. So ordered new headphones for Rub-a-Dub, and then they sent out the wrong ones. So I was like, right, I'm going to need to come and swap these over. That's fine, just come up. I've got them ready, sitting at the counter for you. So I've parked behind St Enoch's, not even at their car park, like 5 doors up for there. Walked in, swapped them over, walked to the front of St Enoch's to see if there was a phone box kicking about to do this third verse. Seen one about half a mile down the road. Like, all right, cool, we'll go and pay for parking. Walking back with the Ringo app on my phone, and I've seen them. I've never seen parking attendants move so quickly in my life, man. They're like spiders wrapping up a fucking insect or something, man. It's like taking pictures. Like, oh, you, so you fucking then? I was like, I've got a fucking app on my phone. We've been here for 15 minutes. I was like, no, I've not even been here 15 minutes. Like, feel free to contend it. I was like, blah.
Fuck you, what a punch.
And then I was like, so it was like 60 quid or 30 if you pay it within 30 days. I was like, still holding the Ringo app. I was like, I'm not fucking paying for it now. You know what I mean? So I've already paid 30 quid. I might as well just go and shoot a video.
Yeah,
So I walked into Argyle Street and then done the final verse there, man.
Now, you happy with the final result of it?
Ah, definitely, man. Mackenzie's an absolute wizard when it comes to it, man. His turnaround's rapid, and aye, man, big up Mackenzie, absolute legend.
No, those are the kind of videos I like, whether it's a band or a solo artist or a rapper or whatever. That's the sort of videos that I like. I think they're quite a throwback, old school style videos. Being out in the streets of where you come from. Like, I hate those like rapper videos where they're in the club surrounded by like fucking 100 women drinking fake champagne. Like, so boring. Nobody can relate to it. You know what I mean? And you just watch it thinking,
many people are living.
Nah, exactly. So when I seen that video that you sent me, I was just like, nah, he's on the right path.
It was just a rough idea as well. Like, I like the track and I like to do a video for it, but I was really struggling with ideas. But there was a filter on the chorus, so it sounded like it's a kind of distortion, like as if I'm on the radio or on the phone or something like that. I was like, could be cool to incorporate phone boxes somehow. And then I just thought about like TikTok and how everything's like transitions nowadays. Everybody likes cool, smooth transitions. I'm like, how the fuck did I do this? And then that was it, man. Just jumping about pishy phone boxes. Turned into a great video.
What's
man.
it like being in a phone box these days?
Weird, man. It still smells, man.
Has it still got that smell?
Howling, man.
Aye.
I'd like to say I took hand sanitizer with me, but I didn't. But I felt so clatty by the end of it, man.
I know. I just thought, they're just used for toilets nowadays, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much, man. And music videos.
Yeah, music videos in toilets.
Yeah. Aye, it was a good night, man. We went out right after that. I linked up with my mate Willie, and we went to see the Souls of Mischief. They were playing at St Luke's.
I wanted to go to that, but I was working. It was the 30th anniversary of 93 Till Infinity.
Man. Aye.
Was it good, aye?
It was good, man. For what I remember it, man, it was good.
Did you get to meet them in that?
Nah.
You didn't get to meet them.
Fuck.
Who was it? Was
Pro Focus and Loki were supporting, man.
Yeah, that's right.
So Pro Focus jumped up. And Conscious Root jumped up to do a track or two with him as well. And then Loki was on after that. But I was more impressed with Pro Focus because, to be honest, like, I only really know 93 Till Infinity. Like, I was trying to listen to them beforehand, and I'm like, I actually don't really know that many of their songs. That's the main one.
No, that's the big one.
What I mean?
That's the big one.
So by that point, I was swinging.
Gone.
Especially because I just get that parking ticket on the way home. I was like, I'm getting on it tonight, man.
That St. Luke's is a great venue. That's a really good venue. It was a great
atmosphere. It's the busiest I've ever seen it, man. It was wall to wall, front to back. It was a great atmosphere.
Good.
And then Pitch Scotland was on the following day, so 2 days there. And then Killer Mike was playing up the West End on the Friday night, so I had to leave Pitch Scotland on the Friday to go up there, and that was...
Did you go and
surreal,
see Body Count?
Nah, man,
in SWG or whatever it's SWG3.
Nah.
Ice-T and Body Count.
Nah, man,
that was amazing.
Even you were playing,
that was amazing. Right. That was really, really good. I enjoyed that. He's some character, man. Even now, I don't know how old he is. He's pretty old, but he is.
Someone done that Colours tune into it. Colours.
Oh yeah. Ice-T, man. He's like the OG, OG original gangster.
Proper gangster.
I like her. His older stuff was fantastic, and then obviously his thrash metal band Body Count, they're fucking unreal as well. But it was a good night.
Right.
It was weird because, as I say, it was a good night. I had to go by myself. So the week before, went to go and see Green Day.
Right, amazing,
they were playing
man. Throwback.
Where's it? Glasgow Green they were playing at.
Not a good venue for Green Day, man. I
like it. It was a good day. And anyway, the same group that was going to go and see Green Day was going to go to Body Count. They all caught COVID. Every single one of them caught COVID. And I was like, fuck that shit. I said, just come. No, I can't come. I was like, it's no fucking 2020 anymore. You know what I mean? Only the strongest survive. Let's fucking go.
Fresh air would be good.
And they just sold the tickets off. They're like, you really going to go yourself? I said, fucking right. I'm not going to let COVID fucking ruin my night. I didn't test or that. I think it's a lot of shite now anyway. I was like, I'm not letting something made up nonsense ruin my night out. So I went along myself. But I'm the sort of person, stick me in a pub or a venue by myself, as long as I've got a few beers, I'll just fucking speak to whoever's next to me.
Social butterfly, man.
Yes, is that what you call them? Social butterfly?
I just drift into...
Just when they ask, like, oh, where's your mate? I'll just be like, he went to the toilet. I don't know if you can fucking find me. You didn't want to make them think you're a fucking weirdo. Going to kick by yourself,
Just here by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's get COVID except me.
I was not letting COVID ruin my night out. That was fun. Ice-T, man. Fucking, I love that guy. Well, what have you done yourself, like gigging wise?
This year's been pretty strong.
I've still not seen you live. You've invited me about a million times.
You missed a belter at Block just a few weeks ago, man.
Every time you invite me, I'm working that night, and I'm the sort of person, if I'm going to a gig, I'm getting on it as well.
Of course.
You know what I mean, I can't go to the gig and then go to work. I'm either going to the gig and then phoning in sick for work, and I didn't want to do that. So, so how has it been gigging wise this year?
It's been decent, man. Like the year before last, my main priority was to like start making a bit of money out of it, man. So it started to monetize stuff. So I managed to hit that in the heat and like start like setting up the things for it last year, and then this year it's definitely growing. So like being able to go and do shows, I can then like register them with PRS and stuff like that, and then you can start like making more money out of it as well. So it started off strong at the beginning of the year. Just after I put out Roses and Daisies, I got confirmation to support Flip Tricks in March at the Hug and Pint. So he runs High Focus Records. I supported him in the 4 Owls in Exeter like 8 years ago. It was like pretty much 8 years to the day that we kind of reunited. I was like, no way, man. I was like, this is a big gig again. Pro Focus was supporting as well. So he was on first, then I was on. And then Flip Tricks was on, obviously. That was March, and then it went into May, and it just went into overdrive. I'd already been approved to go to Focus Wales with Pitch Scotland, which that's a festival down in Wales, kind of showcase conference festival. And I just got a shout like a month before it, like, you want to come and play Wide Days? So that's like another festival through in Edinburgh, kind of the same setup. And I was like, shit, man. So I applied for it last year, and it was like some artist development program, and I got an email back to say I was unsuccessful. So I just assumed I was unsuccessful for the whole application. Right. So then when they said, like, we want you to come and play, I was like, shit, man.
So they kept your file on record type thing.
Cool. So it was like the week before I went to Wales, I was like, shit, now I need to research twice as many speakers and delegates and do twice as much networking, and they want me to get like 30 people in the door, and I'm like, fucking hell, man. Just pure, it wasn't much notice anyway, but the organiser said that I did better than like all of the bands and stuff like that.
Did you manage to get a decent crowd to go down to Wales?
No, to the one in Edinburgh.
The one in Edinburgh,
White Days,
right.
Aye, so I done well there, and then a week after it, I went to Wales, and I done all right down there as well. Linked up with a few people, and then later on that month, I went to Iceland with my stepdad for his 60th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And although that wasn't music related, like I still wrote a couple of kind of throwaway verses, and with that gimbal, just done a couple of kind of freestyle type videos, like where I'm next to like the active volcano, and another one where I'm up a fucking glacier. And
People will
like
say
that.
it's a green screen.
I know, man.
The real deal.
It was all genuine, man. So it was a really, really busy month, and then Super Duty Tough Work were over from Canada, so I met them at Focus. So I met them at Future Echoes in Sweden last year. So it was cool to see them again, and then I've been doing bits with Conscious Root as well. So he put out an album called Belters.
We had him in here.
Aye, he was saying, aye. So he's put out an album called Belters, and I'm on it, and all the other people that were on it.
Which is the funny thing, because I remember that was one thing I said to you when you came in here, was about like collaborations. How I said, like, back in the day with the old school hip hop, that was one thing I liked, when a group of people got together and made a banging album, like The Chronic, for example. And that's how you put me onto him. And then I heard that, and I was like, that's fucking great. Got him in here. He was good, but do you know what the thing was? I could have spoke for hours with that guy, and because we try and keep the episodes fairly short, he was strapped for time anyway. But yeah, we didn't even get on his actual how he got into music. We just spoke about when it was like a full, proper, in-depth episode about the man's life, and it was like the contrast sort of like between my life and his life, and the shit he's gone through, and I was just like, fucking hell, man. This guy is...
I'll need to check it out, man.
It's more than just music, what he was going on about. And God,
I know him well and stuff like
that. He's an absolute gentleman. He is an absolute gentleman. He was so cool.
Guy,
and we got 10Z in here as well, because it was actually from you coming in here. I'm sure I said it to you as well. I was like, I remember from when I was younger, I used to go to like Bristol Square and stuff like that, and see people spitting, freestyling and that, and 10Z was there, and folk like Silver Tongue and Technique and all that from the Edinburgh scene. So we got him in here, and all the rappers that have come in here, they all know who you are. They'll say you're cool.
I've been trying to like kind of funnel people through them, get in touch and vice versa and stuff like that.
They're all cool. I mean, we've had a few belters, but they're more, I would say, are they like grime? I would say more like grime,
drill maybe.
Drill, yeah, that's it.
I mean, a new grime in it.
We've had some. Well, I mean, there was two guys that came in here, and I can't remember their names, but he was like messaging me on Instagram, and I'm like one of those people. Like, obviously, I know what I like, but this podcast isn't about what I like. I will let anyone come in here and put their music out there and advertise themselves. That's what I'm all about, whether I like the music or not. So anyway, this guy gets in touch and he's like, I'm a big fan of your podcast and that. And straight away, I'm like, I know that's bullshit. You don't have to go down that road. Just say you want to come on. Like I've not got an ego or that. Just say you want to come on. You can come on, right? So anyway, we're sort of chatting away and that. And then he was going on about how he was worried about coming in, and I was like, it's fine. I says, because I'm just going to get bluted anyway, so you can just chat about whatever you want to chat about. And he says, are you cool if my other guy comes along as well? I says, yeah, that's fine. That's fine if he's come along. So anyway, they come here, but before that, he was like, I can talk for days, and as long as I've got a few tonics down me, you can't shut me up in that. And I was like, that's cool. Like,
that's what we need,
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need, you know.
So should have a pretty boring one.
Well, fucking, it got boring. So they come here. They came here, right? And they brought their girlfriends. They two sat over there. They were fucking annoying as shit, man. Just kept rustling and making noises and in and out the door. And then these two sat down there, and fuck me, man, it was brutal. Right, and I'm trying my hardest with it.
You get blood for a stone.
I like blood for a stone, so I'm like talking to them and that, and I'm like, right, so what's your influences in that? Because usually, like, you'll know the first one, you come in, you get to know the background and how you got into music, influences and all that jazz. And I'm saying that to him, I says, so what's your influences? He's looking at me, he's like, N-dubs. I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be tough. I was like, just N-dubs. Yeah, just N-dubs. I'm like, fuck, not even Eminem, just N-dubs. I'm like, I'm starting thinking like, are they coming in here just to take the piss? Like what's their game plan here? So anyway, the one that was going on about how you kind of get him to shut up, well, I didn't think he started that day at all because he did not say a single word. Right. It was his pal who was here, but when they first came in, he was literally shaking like a shitting dog, eh? Oh, and I was like, man, calm down, like you're all good. And he was like, oh, I've just never done this before and that. So he sat where you were sitting. I just spoke to him the whole time. The other boy didn't say a single word. And honestly, it must have lasted about 20 minutes.
Seriously,
and I was like, right, have you got anything else to say? And they were like, no. I was like, right, we're just going to end it there then, eh?
What?
And they were hounding me for ages.
Did you end up airing it then?
Did we? Fuck. No, no way. No way.
Oh,
like,
what, man?
I kind of wanted to at least keep the footage so I could watch it back. Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, after I was like, that's no me. Like, I didn't do anything differently than what I've done any other time.
So did you look at the footage back then?
No, just fucking binned it, eh? It's just binned it. But, I mean, I felt terrible for them, but it's like, he was going on about, like, oh, I'm going to come in and I'm going to expose people and all that shit. So I'm thinking, right, this will be funny, eh? We're going to get people chapping the doors and stuff like that. You know? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, we've had that with a few other people as well. Like, there's another guy we had in here, and then the next thing you know, we're getting like messages off of women being like, "Oh, he's an abuser and this and that," and I'm like, "Why are you telling me? I'm not the police. If he's done these things, go to the police. I don't know why you're coming. I just ignore them, eh? Like, there's been a few people we've had in here that, like, I'm like, oh, they're really cool in that, and then like, as soon as the episode airs, it's like, oh, I've got some information about so and so. I'm like reading that, and I'm like, why are you telling me? I don't give a shit. I don't care. Tell the police if it's as serious as you're making it out to be. I don't know what you want me to do. But yeah, we've had a few. Like, a few.
Actually, you can't run a fucking check on everybody that comes in. Know what I mean? Everybody.
You take them for face value, right?
Aye, exactly,
that's it.
Man.
And as far as I'm concerned, it's a music-related podcast.
Aye.
It's not about how seedy your lifestyle might be outside of it.
Talking about music and that's it, man.
And like, we'll get to know a bit about your background by all means, but yeah, like some of the stuff. Like, I mean, there was another guy come in and he was like, "I'm going to come in and I'm going to expose everybody." And I'm like, "Fucking yes, this will be fun." Came in here, shot it. Just shot it. And I'm like,
it can be nerve-wracking the first time, like, on a camera and on the mic and stuff
100%. And I get that, and I really do get that. But like, this is for everyone. See if you want to come on, just come on.
Don't drop the ego. Just come in and get a
chat. That doesn't need to be a narrative or nothing. If you have music,
and the more you hype yourself up by saying things like that before it, then you've got a thing to live up to, and then they're probably shaking because they realise they're talking shite.
But this is one thing that I've noticed about the older guys in rap and hip hop that come in here: sound as fuck. There's no shit, and it's like they've just got equal respect for each other. Whereas I feel like the younger folk, and I remember 10Z when he was in here, we were talking about this, and he was sort of saying and agreed, it was like, you know, the older generation, they've sort of seen the bad side of what can happen when it comes to stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of these younger folk now are seeing what's going on in London, and they're trying to bring that shite up here. And I don't think it fits in places
I
like
think
here.
we spoke about that last time.
Did we talk about that as well?
They watch Top Boy and then they just think they're...
And they think they're solid. And it's like, no, it's no like that.
Don't get me wrong, some people are living that lifestyle, but I don't think it should be like promoted. And
glorified like that, yeah.
That's what this whole album Unplugged's about. Like, it was initially called... I was in the middle of putting out an EP called End of the Road. And it was kind of stuff linked to that. And then getting this project with Louis kicked off, and I'm like, I'm still talking about the same things. Maybe this could be the End of the Road as an album. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, nah, that's... As soon as I changed the name of it to Unplugged, it's like just me unplugged talking about what I want to talk about, but also speaking about that stuff as well. It's like I didn't want to I said everything I had to say in Sinner, pretty much, but like now with other tracks I've went into a bit more depth and stuff like that, and it's not just the one track over and over again. Like the same saying the same thing over a different instrumental and saying it differently, you know what I mean? So like it opened up a bit, and then it kind of gave me the freedom to write about kind of a bit more personal things and stuff like that. Obviously Roses and Daisies, and there's another track on there called Wait a Minute, which talks about like kind of not really people that have passed away, but like kind of the effects of like people passing away and stuff like that. And then the final track's Penny for My Thoughts, which is about my daughter as well. Like if I'd have just kept it the end of the road where I was just like talking about that stuff, where it would have been quite boring, know what I mean? Like I just like exactly what I'm saying, like the one track over and over again. So I'm glad I changed the name of it, and then that was.
You're happy with it?
That's
all that matters, man. That's all that matters.
That being said, like now that all the tracks are sorted, and I'm just kind of scheduling the releases and stuff like that, I'm glad to put it behind me, because I'm quite an upbeat, jovial person. So like the more you speak about these things and the more I do these tracks, like I'm kind of reliving old shit that I'm kind of trying to allow that dust to settle. I don't really want to be stirring it up with a lot of these tracks. So like when if you go and see me live, like it's a really upbeat set, and I'll maybe be like 2 tracks for the album, for the new album in there.
Yeah.
But I'm more focused on my live performance. That's just something I had to do, but I'm really focused on next year, and like I've got a boom bap album in the works with Krink as well.
Right. When's that coming out?
Just whenever, man. Just whenever, man.
I sound like those people I was talking about. When's it coming out? When's it coming out? You're like, you're going to have to wait a year now.
A couple of the tracks are out, man. So I got a track with Nelson Dialect, which is out. I got a track with Michael Parkinson, which is out. There's some other Dynamite features on there as well. Got a cracking verse from Conscious Route. There's one there for Gore-Tex for Non-Fiction. Then there's some other wee bits in the pipeline. Barbarian for London as well. Who's an absolute fucking don. It's just like classic boom bap back to me. And then like I've been doing like features for people, and it's just back to jovial me, just more comedy me, like a more comfortable version of me. Like shit, like when I'm spitting it live, I'm like pure smiling ear to ear, know what I mean? I'm like, yes man, this is fucking me, man. Happy go lucky. And
I'm going to need to see you live. Like I said earlier, I've still not seen you live.
Aye.
So we need to get that sorted.
I'm not sure when the next one is. There's one happening. I'm kind of toying with the idea of putting my name forward for one in November. But I don't know, kind of humming and hawing about it. I'd maybe want to just focus on getting the shit that's in front of me out, so I can focus on next year. So I might just patch it. So I'm not sure when the next gig is going to be. But the next time I'm going to be on stages with Conscious Route on the 16th of November. He's organising a gig in Edinburgh. So he's got Blacksmith coming up for London. You taking a note?
I'm going to see if I'm available or not.
Aye.
Because
so it's through in Edinburgh. It's at Sneaky Pete's. I think it's called
I love Sneaky Pete's
Collective something, man. I need to double check. I'll send you the link anyway.
What's the date you said?
Collective Culture or something.
Saturday
the 16th of
Saturday.
November.
I get every Saturday off.
Right.
So I'm going to try and come along to that.
So I think he's got a DJ lined up for it, so that's cool. That takes a bit of pressure off me. I don't need to scoot through my laptop, nor I need to worry about losing my headphones like I did the last time I was in Edinburgh.
Yeah, this is actually one thing I was meaning to ask about. Sorry to change the subject.
Go for it.
Because obviously you are into your hip hop, you're a rapper. You do the graffiti tagging and that. But one thing I was pretty, not surprised, because I mean it was probably the final bit of the hip hop trio, was the DJing. You do that, don't you?
I can DJ.
I vaguely remember being in my house after a night out, and I was absolutely pissed. And I was on Instagram, and you were live. And you were, but you weren't
equally as pissed.
You weren't talking to anyone. You were literally just standing there, just mixing tunes and that. And I was like,
my tap off, my father figure. I
was like, what the fuck is going on? But you're into all that as well, eh?
So I used to run drum and bass nights in a Makina night in Glasgow. So it was when I was at college. It was like part of my course. In theory, run a night. This is what you need to do to market it and stuff like that. And the boy I was good mates with in there, Dazzle, MC Dazzle, he was like right into his Makina and shit like that. He's like, mate, fucking my big cousin does work with the sound house. We should just get in there and just do it. Just do it, man. Just see what it's like. And we ended up running 3 drum and bass nights and a Makina night. So what I was performing at them as well. So me and the boy I was staying with at the time, we built all our tracks from scratch. So we were producing drum and bass and then like building sets with all our own music. So we knew when the good mixing points were and shit like that, and kind of designed our tracks to mix in and out of each other at certain points and shit like that. So it was wasn't that? Oh, it was Tractor Scratch I was using at the time, but it was Control Vinyl. This was before you could hit sync.
Yeah.
And shit would just automatically be in
beat match.
Aye. So I was still like getting the timing right and shit like that, like making sure everything was bang on where it was meant to be, just by ear with the records. And then I just kind of fell away for that. And then I think it was around about lockdown, my wee brother got me back into vinyl. I started mixing like that, and then I got this wee cheap mix track Pro. It's like a Newmark controller.
Yeah.
And then I just with that sync button, I was like, fuck it, man, let's just have a bit of fun. Again, like I was talking about earlier on, like the escapism from the escapism, like when I'm DJing, it's just like I'm just in the flow state, man. I'm just zoning in and zoning out, just
I think
battering out tunes.
DJing is like a misunderstood art, because that boy I was telling you about earlier, who was going on about he was like coming up for his 50th.
Aye.
And I thought he was coming up for his 40th. Got done all the raves and that. So anyway, first time I'd gone to his house, we all went back to his after a night out, and he's got decks.
Aye.
So I was like, oh, fucking go and show me how to do that. I used to have like the virtual DJ, like the MIDI, like you were saying with the beat match and that. But I was like, I've never seen it with my own eyes with actual vinyl. And he's got all the proper shit for like the late 80s, early 90s and that, all the hardcore stuff. So he's showing us how to do it and that. So he's got the 2 decks, but between that, he's got one of those like MP3 sort of virtual DJ ones as well. Aye. So he's showing us what he's doing on the vinyl. And he's like, you can even go one step further. He says you can bring the 2 tracks in from the MIDI device as well.
Aye.
I was like blown away. I was like, so I've heard about mixing 2 tracks.
Aye,
you trying to tell me that you could mix in 3 or 4 tracks? And he goes, yeah. And he's fucking doing it. And I'm like, holy
I'm
shit.
not that good, man. I just
but this is the thing. Like, see, when I hear people, they're like, DJs, they just play pre-recorded stuff, or they just hit a button, right? I'm sure maybe some of them do, but not all of them. When you see it with your own eyes and you know the person who's doing it is 100% legit, it will fucking blow your mind. You can hear 4 or 3 different tracks, or even just 2 tracks at the same time get mixed in and out of each other. And it's like, it's not even as easy as picking up 2 tracks and putting them on. That's like, he's got like over 30 years of like knowledge of listening to that music.
What's going to mix into this?
He's listening to a song and thinking, oh, I've got a fucking vinyl for like 20 years. That'll go there. And I'm like, that is
big audio jigsaw live.
Yeah, that is an art. That is 100% an art. So see, when you hear people saying, oh, you're just pressing buttons and that, fuck, there's a lot more in it than that. Because even when I got the MIDI one for Christmas years ago when I was younger, I mean, I thought I was a superstar. But at the end of the day, when I realised I was just like literally hitting beat match, I was like, I'm actually no doing it. I don't have respect from anyone. I was kind of gutted when I got them as well, and I felt terrible because I couldn't say it to my mum. But I thought I was getting like proper vinyls, because that's when I was into. I liked the sound of scratching. I couldn't do it, but I liked the sound of it.
That's one thing I would love to. I can't scratch. I'm good at mixing records and shit like that, but I can't scratch.
Oh my god! Like, see when
hands up, man.
What was it?
You rack him on that DJ, say I'm going to scratch the fuck, and then go and start shaking. No, I can't scratch, man. That's it.
There's a film. Oh, I can't remember. It's got. I'm sure it's got. What's his pus? Tupac. Juice. Have you ever seen the film Juice with Tupac?
So, man, no.
Oh, there's a bit in it. He's because I think one of his pals is like he's trying to be like a DJ mega star, And obviously back then you had rap battles, but this was like turntable battles with
Aye,
scratching.
like,
Oh my god! Like
Aye.
I can imagine how advanced the technique is now, but
Mm.
that film was maybe the early 90s. It was fucking amazing. Like, actually, probably get a lot of hate for this, but like what you said earlier about P Diddy being a movie star,
aye,
I've actually always rated Tupac more for being
an actor.
than
Aye.
his music.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad film
Right,
that he was in. That film Juice is fucking. You like your
I'll need-
hip
I'll need
hop and that? Check
man.
it out.
Aye.
What's the other one? Gridlocked. Have you ever seen that one?
No, man, no.
Oh,
right,
that film is fucking amazing. And Poetic Justice as well. That was a great film with
Right,
Janet
I'll
Jackson.
see
She's
that,
in it.
yeah.
Get on there. They're great hip hop films.
Aye.
But we got the time off of Chris that we should maybe be wrapping this up.
Sound.
Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Going to have some merch coming out, some t-shirts.
Which, remember the hat that you gave me last time
Yes.
here? Not the cap, but the beanie.
Right.
I wear that all the time.
Good stuff, man.
And do you know the thing is as
Aye.
well? Is it goes with everything.
Right.
It goes, and I'm really weird.
What colour
with
was it again? Was it just a black
a
one?
black one with the yellow Dental Records
Aye.
logo. I'm really weird with trying to get things to match, but that hat seems to go with fucking
the black and gold looks, man.
everything. My missus is like, you never have that fucking hat off. I'm like, oh, it's fucking class. No one's ever asked me about it, which I'm probably a good thing, so I probably won't be able to shut the fuck up about it. Like, oh, my man, Kryptik, get on it.
T-shirts this time, man. Just nobody. A lot of cars don't even have CD players in them anymore, so like, I've kind of recognised that the demographic is shifted, so it's like, if I put out T-shirts, then people can buy them and support.
Yeah, they're
us
more
and-
inclined to buy a T-shirt than a CD these
just
days, eh?
Stream the album and maybe once it's complete, I'll put it up on Bandcamp and stuff like that. So, stay catch us on Instagram's probably the best place to keep up with me. That's Kryptik_ Kryptik with 2 Ks, KRYPTIK_ rhythms, RIDDIMZ. And you'll just see some wee tunes dropping out, and then it'll just keep adding on to the album playlist on Spotify and whatever audio platform that you want to check out on, and stay in touch and find out when the next gig is and come and see us, man.
I think if you really want to help, you should do what I do, is see if you really like an artist, just make a playlist and then just have it on repeat constantly. I've got there's a playlist.
You one of my super fans?
Yeah, there's a playlist I've got where I don't mind just having my phone like turned down. Just have it on the side, or if I'm sleeping or whatever, and just have a continuous playlist playing. Because if you're connected to the internet in your house anyway, if your phone's on charge, you're not going to lose battery or that. So just have it like a farm. You know, if these big Hollywood
Every
folk can
1,000
do
times
it,
you do
then
that, I might get 2 pence with Spotify. You know what I mean?
contributes towards a pint, I guess.
Aye.
But I will wrap that up if that's all good with you.
Aye, Dynamite. Cheers again for having us.
Aye, so it's
Let's
been
fucking
class.
have it.
It's been class having Kryptik back in here again after almost a year. He's definitely one of my favourite folk in here. Also, if you enjoyed this, click like, subscribe, share, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next one. See you later. Bye.